Have you ever wondered why we love romantic comedy so much? It's not just a modern obsession. Long before Hollywood, we were already captivated by stories of unlikely couples, hilarious misunderstandings, and the ultimate triumph of love. The reason rom-coms have stuck around for so long is their incredible ability to adapt, reflecting the hopes, dreams, and humor of every new generation. In a way, the history of the rom-com is the history of how we see love itself. Let's rewind way back. The roots of romantic comedy stretch all the way to ancient Greece and Rome, with plays full of mistaken identities and lovers trying to overcome social barriers. But it was Shakespeare who really perfected the formula. Think of Much Ado About Nothing or As You Like It, the witty banter, the clever disguises, the arguments that are really just flirting, and that big, joyful ending where everyone gets paired up. These stories taught us a fundamental truth. Love is messy, it's funny, and it's always worth the fight. When movies came along, rom-coms were a natural fit. In the silent era, stars like Charlie Chaplin used physical comedy to show the tender, awkward side of romance. Then the 1930s gave us the screwball comedy. These films were a whirlwind of fast-talking, chaotic energy. Classics like It Happened One Night introduced the iconic battle of the sexes dynamic, with sharp dialogue and undeniable chemistry that set the screen on fire. These movies weren't just funny. They were smart and sophisticated. The 1940s and 50s are often called the Golden Age. Rom-coms became glamorous, polished, and oh so charming. This was the era of Cary Grant and Katharine Hepburn, the undisputed king and queen of the genre. The stories often revolved around marriage, social status, and navigating societal expectations. After the hardship of war, audiences were craving stability, romance, and a good laugh, and these elegant films delivered exactly that. They were a perfect, delightful escape. Then, the world started to change, and so did our movies. The 60s and 70s brought a cultural shift. Actresses like Doris Day became symbols of a wholesome, sweet kind of romance, but at the same time, the sexual revolution was introducing bolder themes. Rom-coms started to explore what it meant to be an independent woman with a career. The genre became more self-aware, even starting to poke fun at its own conventions and tropes, reflecting a new, more modern way of looking at relationships. Now, let's talk about the era that many of us think of as the ultimate rom-com period, the 80s and 90s. This was the age of Meg Ryan, Julia Roberts, and Tom Hanks. When Harry Met Sally asked the question, can men and women ever just be friends? Pretty Woman gave us a modern fairy tale, and Sleepless in Seattle showed us that love could conquer even the greatest distance. These films were all about big feelings, grand romantic gestures, and soundtracks we still know by heart. They perfectly captured a generation trying to balance careers, independence, and the universal search for a real, authentic connection. So, where did the rom-com go after that? It didn't disappear, it reinvented itself for the 21st century. The genre started telling more diverse stories, celebrating love in all its forms. Streaming services helped bring rom-coms back into the spotlight, giving us a whole new library of movies to fall in love with. We also got meta rom-coms, films that cleverly deconstruct the cliches we know and love. Today's stories tackle everything from online dating and cultural identity to mental health. They are more inclusive, more self-aware, and more emotionally honest than ever before. So, why do we keep coming back to them? Rom-coms endure because they tap into something timeless. They remind us that love is hopeful, that people are beautifully imperfect, and that laughter makes everything a little bit easier. They promise us that a happy ending, or at least a hopeful beginning, is always possible. The settings and the styles may change, but the heart of the romantic comedy, that joyful, optimistic belief in love, always stays the same. Thanks for watching, and if you love movies as much as I do, be sure to subscribe for more deep dives into your favorite genres.